All right, guys, we're going to get started. I'm excited you're here. Today, we're going to be giving a webinar over what the modern marketing partnership should actually look like and why most agency relationships are falling short. If you don't know me, my name is Brittni. I'm the owner of Backstage Energy Marketing. We're full service energy digital marketing agency based in the Texas market. We specialize in the energy industrial power segments. And really excited to talk about what a partnership with a very specific type of agency should look like. So as we dive in, I want to talk a lot about clients that are in this space. A lot of times we have clients come to us and they're like, I don't really know. I have a marketing problem. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have a marketing problem. What they have is a clarity problem. What I mean by that is we have inconsistency across different marketing channels. We've got channels that aren't really connected, meaning you've got LinkedIn, something happening over there. You've got a certain message happening on your website. You've got a specific message happening on a business development perspective at your events and trade shows. And there's no connection between all of these channels to create a consistent and efficient message to your audience. And then last but certainly not least is we are seeing that clients that aren't really sure if marketing's working, are they investing in marketing? They're not using the data to drive those decisions. So we're going to talk a lot about what this all looks like in today's webinar. So why does this matter right now? What we're seeing in this space is the landscape has changed significantly over the last decade. Buyers and your prospects, they're doing their own research online. They grew up with Google. They're going to go there even if they get referred to your business, which is so important. Your competition, it's more visible than ever. We have prospects and clients that we meet with on a weekly basis saying, holy smokes, we need to invest in digital marketing because our competitor, our new competitor that just entered the space, they're doing this better than us and they don't even have projects, but they look so good online. Right. And so we're seeing that there's really not a lot of room for wasted effort in this day and age when it comes to a digital marketing perspective for the energy industry. What's the disconnect that we're seeing between an agency partner and their energy clients? Most marketing relationships are struggling for the same reasons. Okay. The agency doesn't really understand your business. They don't really understand your market, your technical buyers, the sales process, and everything that goes in between there. The company doesn't always understand marketing, especially digital marketing, or the importance that they should put on that. And what we see is a disconnect because both marketing and the client tend to stay in their own lanes, and there's no bridge to connect them in order to see success happen for their business. A lot of times companies think they might need, oh, we just need a new website. Or hey, let's just post some more on LinkedIn, or maybe we just adjust this on our website to help us rank on Google search a little bit better, or maybe we could just hire an intern to handle marketing, right? But after a few weeks, they're not seeing results. They're going to scrap it all and start over, or they're going to pivot and try something else. They're not being consistent enough to actually see results because it's going to take a lot longer than just 3 or 4 weeks of marketing to move the needle for your business. So when we come in as a client agency and a partner, we have a very different approach. Okay. We see things that move the needle because we're in this space and we've been here almost 10 years. Number one, clear positioning. What do you do? Who do you serve? And how can you help? Very clear and consistent messaging across all of your marketing and business development channels. We want to make sure that your marketing is aligned with sales. What is sales saying in their process? What is sales saying when they're prospecting and talking to leads? We want to make sure marketing and sales have a handshake so that that message is consistent. And then last but certainly not least, marketing isn't fast, especially in an industry like energy. I like to use an example of a snowball. You're going to start rolling, right? And we have short-term channels that we implement. Again, those are snowball effects. And as you get into month 5, month 8, you really start seeing the fruit of the foundation that was built over that first quarter of the campaign. Working with a partner that understands all of this and how it all connects is really, really what helps move the needle. What's the old agency model look like? If you've ever worked with an old agency, you probably saw a lot of task-based work. Hey, these are the things I need done. Agency, can you please go and execute them? Hey, we see this happening, agency, can you react and fix this? There's really not a lot of industry expertise from the agency's perspective. They just kind of push buttons and handle the tasks that are assigned from the client. Focus on deliverables. You need a sales collateral, an SOQ, social media content. Like, here's the deliverables. You get a lot of activity, but you're not really building that momentum like the snowball effect that I mentioned earlier. When I built Backstage Energy Marketing, I built it to be different, right? I saw this gap. I've been in the agency world for several decades, and there's a huge gap, especially in these industries. Marketing really felt disconnected from the industry, right? You've got an energy industry that marketing hasn't been a priority, and it didn't necessarily need to be in the 80s and 90s. However, in 2026, it's very much a priority and coming up the top of the list quickly. We also saw this gap that work looked good, but it didn't really drive results. Like, yeah, you got a great brochure or you got a great LinkedIn post going out, but like, what did it do for your bottom line? Did you get new leads? Did you shorten the sales cycle? Did you build trust with your audience? What about the technical credibility that you're positioning your brand online? Like, what were those KPIs that you're measuring versus, hey, this brochure looks good, right? And then you have agencies, there's this gap that agencies were just executing and they really didn't understand, because the old agency model was all about take business from any industry. So you might have an agency that has one or two energy clients, but they have 15 dentists, 15 chiropractors, 15 retail locations that they're marketing, and two energy clients. Their expertise is not in energy. And you want an agency that has the expertise in energy so that they understand what you're selling, who you're selling to. That's important. How to get the message in front of those individuals, how to generate leads and position your brand online. That happens when you work with an agency that specializes in your industry. Another thing I like to talk about when we're talking about selecting an agency or working with an agency is really they fall into two buckets. You work with a vendor, right? A vendor waits for direction. Hey, the client's like, hey, we see this, vendor, go fix this. Or hey, we have this list of tasks that need to be done, vendor, go fix this. Versus a partner. A partner has a seat at the table. A partner brings direction to your executive team. Hey, executive team, this is what we're seeing online. Hey, your competition is doing this, and we need to position your brand like this in order to compete online and stay ahead of this, right? It gives you a seat at the table as a partner, as an extension of your business, which is so important from a marketing perspective in the energy industry in 2026, right? A partner should help you decide what actually matters, right? So we have a lot of ideas coming, mostly from technical expertise, engineers, we've got project managers, procurement, all of these different personalities that say, hey, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. But look, as a marketing partner, I'm going to look at all of this and say, what are your goals? What are we trying to do? And how do we get there? And then let's take a really good comprehensive approach and put a plan together as a partner to say, this is the next step for your business. So what does a real partnership look like with a digital agency in this space? Number one, they understand your industry. They know your buyers, your sales cycle. They understand how to get in front of these individuals from a digital marketing perspective. They understand really what matters in your space. And that is so important. Again, you've got agency models that have a lot of different clients across a lot of different industries. They're not an expert in anything. Whereas when you work with an agency that really has an expertise in what you do and who you work, it changes everything in that partnership. An agency, a real partner agency, they help you say the right things, right? We turn complex ideas, complex business models, services, and products into clear and compelling messages across all of your marketing channels. We want to communicate value and trust and authority for your brand in your space. And that takes a partner who understands this industry. Next, we want to align with sales. This is so important. It's not uncommon for our team to meet with your sales team, integrate with your CRM to make sure marketing and sales are absolutely aligned. We know your buyer and your sales cycle, and we want to get to the intricacies of that to know how we can speed up that sales process, right? If you're talking a 12-month sales process, what can marketing do to shave 90 days off of that? How can we answer questions online or put content out in order to help your sales team already have the trust of those prospects when they get into their pipeline? And then last but not least, thinking long term and not just monthly. I talked about this at the beginning. It's a snowball effect. Digital marketing doesn't happen in 3 or 4 weeks. And if you're looking for results that quickly, you're probably not going to see them. It's not uncommon for me to be on a client call or a prospect call with executives, and they say, "Brittni, what's your gut telling you? Hey, Brittni, can we put another post out on LinkedIn?" I mean, yeah, we can, but it's not going to do anything for your brand. We need a comprehensive approach driven by data. What is the data telling us? How is your audience engaging with these campaigns? And what do we need to pivot, if anything, in order to move the needle? You want an agency partner that understands the data, understands your business, and can use all of this to put your brand at the front of the competition online. What does this look like in practice, right? Instead of just, hey, we got a few random LinkedIn posts, our agency is going to get these out, and we're going to have great. Instead, you get content that's tied to real buyer questions. Because we've aligned with sales, because we've got technical cred that we're building, because we have content and lead magnets that are all part of the strategy. Now we have real buyer questions that we're able to answer as a marketing partner in order to, again, build trust, shorten your sales cycle, generate better leads, and control the leads pipeline and your sales pipeline to give you better ROI over the length of your campaigns. Another thing is generic website copy. If you've got a copywriter that's A, not a technical copywriter, and B, doesn't understand your industry, you're going to get very generic website copy because they don't know what you do. They don't even know how to ask the right questions in order to get that information from you to describe what you do online, right? With a partner that specializes in your industry, number one, we understand your audience. We understand what works when it comes to technical audiences like your engineers, your I&E guys, even procurement and maintenance and management and director level decision makers, right? We are able to clearly position your brand in order to build your expertise and build trust online. 81% of buyers say trust is a huge key factor in vendor selection. So if you're looking for a partner, if they can't trust that you're going to make them look good in front of their boss, they're not going to even pick up the phone and talk to sales. It's not worth their time. Here's the truth of the matter. Number one, more posts on LinkedIn is not going to generate more leads. Okay, more traffic to your website is not going to give you better opportunities. I've done so many audits. Our team has done so many audits on websites that are generating a ton of website traffic, but getting 0 leads converted. And they're like, what's going on? And it's a random blog post that has really went viral and ranked really well that is absolutely irrelevant to their target market. So it's all about the quality of the people coming to the site, not necessarily the quantity. And that's important. More activity, more tasks, more things happening doesn't always mean growth. And really making sure that we're using data in order to make the decisions of what activity needs to be completed. An aligned partnership can really make all the difference. So what does a strong partnership actually look like? Number one, you feel supported, right? You feel like you can take a breath. You've got a partner who's handling marketing, who understands the industry, who understands your market, your products, and they're owning that specific channel within your business. You're not guessing anymore, right? You've got an agency partner who has data, who's tying that data to attribution with your CRMs in order to say, hey, our Google ads are driving 50% more revenue than our LinkedIn ads. Let's put 30% more budget on our Google ads, right? Those type of decisions are so integral in order to build a business and grow a business in this industry. Again, marketing channels that are working together. It's a very comprehensive approach. We live in a very noisy world. We're watching TV on Netflix. We've got something playing on the Alexa device. Our kids are running around crazy. We've got our laptop open, our phone's right next to us. There's a bunch of noise. As a marketing partner, we have to make sure we can cut through that noise and be exactly where your audience is. And 9 times out of 10, it's not just one place. This really shifts when you're working with a partner that understands your market, understands your industry. Marketing becomes a growth driver. Okay, it's not just on the back burner, maybe we should. No, you're seeing real leads coming from marketing. It's not uncommon. We have clients that are generating quotes for their projects, $600,000 to $1 million from a Google ad lead that cost them $20 to convert. I'm telling you guys, it is crazy what you can do online when it comes to your investment in generating trust, building your sales pipeline, and building authority in your space. And last but not least, your conversions from a sales perspective are easier because 70% of this buying decision happens online. If marketing is doing a good job, when they get to sales, sales only has 30% left to do. They just got to get them over the hump and have them sign the dotted line. And that is where you see this sales conversation and the conversions get easier and quicker. So if you're looking to hire a marketing partner, here's a practical way, a different checklist to look through and run and filter your specific partner opportunities through. Number one, do they understand your industry? Ask them, what kind of clients do you work with? Can I talk to anyone at current clients? If they say no, they probably don't have clients in your industry. Can they explain why they're doing something? That is so important. Why are we doing this? What's the why behind it? And it's really a learning objective. I have CEOs that say, Brittni, I have a lot of questions. I'm not questioning what you guys are doing. I just want to understand. We have engineers and executive leaderships, and that's how their brain works. And being able to have a marketing partner that can speak to that and say, absolutely, John, this is why we're doing it. This is what the data shows, and this is what we're doing next in X, Y, and Z. Right? And being able to educate. Remember, we talked at the beginning that a lot of marketing agencies are in their lane and a lot of clients stay in their lane and they don't really cross over. This is a great way to have a partner that can educate the why of what we're doing and why it matters. Do they challenge you? This is one of my favorites. This is so important in a partnership because you hired a partner for their expertise. You're paying for their expertise. And if they just say, yeah, 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 that's not expertise. That's a task-based vendor. So you want to make sure that you have a partner that says, well, hey, let's take a step back. Why are you asking for this? What's the rub? Where did this come from? And then say, I think, or I know, or let's look at the data and see what we need to do next, right? Make sure you have someone that can push back when appropriate and professionally. Are they thinking beyond deliverables? This is not just, hey, every month we're going to do X, Y, and Z. What are we doing over the growth of your campaign, right? Over a 12-month campaign, what does this look like? What does this strategy look like? We got 10 leads last month. We're seeing rankings increase. All of this starts building month over month. But again, clients have to commit to the consistency and the long-term commitment to see revenue tied to these channels that they're investing in. Here's some red flags. If you've ever done a sales call with me, you know the first call is my discovery call. And I got to bring it to you. That is my way of filtering out red flags, right? You should be also looking for red flags. Number one, if they jump straight into execution, fire them. There needs to be at least a month to 6 weeks of ramp up time of understanding your business, understanding your sales, aligning with sales, all of these conversations that happen from an onboarding perspective. If they never push back, fire them. Don't hire them. You want somebody that has expertise and isn't afraid to share that expertise with you as a client. If they don't have any questions or they don't show any curiosity about your business, that's a problem. You want someone who's passionate about your business, just like you are passionate about your business. If they have no connection to sales, if they're not integrating into CRM, if they don't want to set up calls with your sales team to learn their process, ask the questions that need to be asked, it's probably not the best fit. If everything feels templated, that's not a good fit. You are in an industry that is not a commodity. And I want to say that very clearly. Your marketing approach does not need to be a templated approach to meet the needs of your business. If they treat your business like a project, not a partnership, it's a red flag. This industry is not selling dog food. It's not a quick transaction. This industry is based on trust, authority, long-term commitments, and relationships. It is important that your marketing partner understands that this isn't just a one-off project. It is a partnership to grow your business over the length of this partnership, right? Campaigns running for 12, 24 months that are driving growth for your business. If they are not evolving, this is huge. We are in a world that is quickly moving. We have new software coming out, new strategies. Google's changing the algorithm. Now we got to figure out how we're going to rank in AI and all the things in between there. Digital changes so fast. So making sure you have a partner that can stay up to speed with those things. This is usually a sign of surface level work. This is not what works in the energy industry. So if you find yourself today saying, hey, well, my marketing has never felt like it was clicking. And I was maybe one of those people that thought maybe we just needed a website, maybe we need to post more on LinkedIn. You're not alone. Okay. I have these conversations every week with people just like you. And everyone is trying to figure out how to do this online, specifically in the energy industry. So if you have questions, let's talk through it. Let's talk through what this might look like. Michaela's on the call. She's going to drop my link in the chat. If you'd like to book some time, definitely jump on and we can talk through what it looks like at your business, how we might be able to help and go from there.